Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about how conferences are going to lose you money unless you follow this checklist. So tip number 1, don't try to be a martyr. You want to make sure that you're at least covering your costs. So you got to map out how much the venue is going to cost you, right? So here's what we did. For the Marketing School Live that we did just yesterday, we looked at different venues. So we looked at, WeWork in Culver City, which was free. And then we also looked at, the cross campus in downtown LA, which is what we ended up using. And that ended up costing us $2,500. But here's why we went with that one. Reason is because they would take care of everything. They took care of, kind of the check-in stuff. Also they recommended the food vendor. They set up all the chairs, everything like that. And there's a theater setting, right? So you want to make sure, it's a good kind of setup in the beginning so people have a good experience. And so they're going to come back next time, right? If we had put people into a WeWork where things were unorganized, even though it was free, we probably would have lost money because we probably would have delivered a worse experience. And we want to make sure that we deliver the first time. So that's my point of saying that.
Yeah, you also need to have contingencies on how you're going to get attendees. It's not always going to work out to be like, hey, we're just going to go and we're going to blast out to our email list. Well, what if that doesn't work? Eric asked me to blast out to my email list. For doing an event in Los Angeles that was a nighttime event. And I had no way to segment my email list just as Southern California and have way too many people on there to just do a blast to everyone. So you had to have contingencies. Some of our contingencies were to partner up with other organizations and events within the localized region to help get more attendees for our event.
Yeah, and so to build on that, what we did was we know a couple people that run conferences. I know a couple people in LA that have Startup Digest LA. There's another two other tech sites based in LA. Social Media Examiner picked us up. Our friend Vasil that runs Growth Marketing Conference sent out a blast for us. He actually segmented his, and I hit my list a couple of times. And then also my little hack here is that I made a meetup group, and 2 people actually showed up from that meetup group. I did no promotion. We had that group. We have that group for 2 weeks. There's 40 people in there, and it just kind of grows on its own. So think about how you can make it work, right? And then also don't forget about ads too. So you got to think about not only just using one channel. Especially if this is your first time, you got to think about pulling out all the stops. The final thing I'll add around promotion is that we used Duck Soup. So that's DUX Soup, SOUP. And what that allows me to do is that allows me to hit up all my contacts in Los Angeles that have maybe marketing in their title. Maybe they've done it for 2 or 3 years or so. And we have a couple people show up in the crowd yesterday that said, hey, thank you for reaching out to me and thank you for inviting me. Little did they know it was automated, and they showed up, and I got to meet some really cool people.
You're also going to lose money if you don't provide the right experience. And I know this sounds counterintuitive because it costs money to throw an event, but what I mean by you're going to lose money if you don't create the right experience is long-term wise, if you're doing things wrong where the information isn't high in quality, you're not providing a good experience for the networking or for the food, or people can't hear what's going on because this audio and the video is all messed up, what's going to happen is it's going to hurt your business in the long run. So let's say Eric has an agency. If Eric threw a bad experience with this event, then people are going to be like, oh, if this is the work that Eric releases, then how do I know that his agency is going to produce anything better than this? And it can hurt his sales. So in the long run, if you want to do well with your business, you have to make sure the events you throw are high in quality.
Yeah, and so in order to do that, easier said than done, right? So, you have to think about a couple of things. It can't just be you. If it was just Neil and I doing it, it probably wouldn't have happened. You have to have some kind of conference committee to help out, right? So in that case, it was saying, okay, you're going to sit at the front, collecting names and then writing down names. You're going to help with the tacos. You're going to be the mic runner. Everyone has to do their job. This is a team effort. That's how these conferences happen. And, our main thing with conferences is that, if we're ever going to do it again, our goal is to at least break even or make a small profit. Again, we're not trying to make money off these things. I know there are conference businesses out there. We're not in this to do, a conference business. It's just not something Neil and I are interested in. So you have to consider also kind of what your goals are. And I would say, I think if you're first starting out, you're lucky if you lose a couple $100. I think that's considered a win.
Yeah. So overall, you now have a checklist when you're going to throw your own event. Follow those tips and you should do quite well. And it's okay if you lose money in the short long. Don't just measure how much money you make from throwing the event. Measure how much money you make in total, right? From a lifetime value from networks or networking, people that you're meeting up, or long-term contracts you end up gaining from these events.
Yeah, my final tip is, you go to conferences. I'm assuming any of you that are listening right now, you probably go to maybe one thing per year or so. Look at the people that you're able to build relationships with. One thing that we did yesterday was we had a tool called Poll Everywhere, and we allowed people to ask questions ahead of time, and it was like Reddit where people can upvote and downvote questions. That only came because I knew one of my friends through an event before, and I saw him using that, so I asked him what the tool was, and then I asked Vasil, which is our mutual friend, hey, what are some tips you have? And he gave me the tip around Meetup, and I asked some other conference planners too, so I was able to mine the relationships I had already. And just because you're starting out doesn't mean you can't ask people for events that you've been to in the past, and just reach out and start to ask for some help. You Google online, there's a lot of conference checklists out there on how to do this stuff. Neil and I are still new to this, but given the result from yesterday, we'll probably think about continuing to do this in the future. So that's it for today. But before we go, we have a 90-day free trial of Crazy Egg to give away to each and every one of you. Just go to singlegrain.com/giveaway to learn more, and we will see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.